This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show.
And we welcome you to the great state of Texas. Hi, everybody. Jason Walker. We are presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. Big show coming up today. In fact, we got 3 big shows coming up down here in Texas. We'll tell you about our trip coming up. You can watch this on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can listen on Podbean, Network One Sports. You can also go to jasonwalkershow.com. And you can also get a hold of us via the Twitter at JWalkerSports, our handle. Email Jason at jasonwalkershow.com. And our phone number is 406-209-1267. A big show coming up, like I said. We are in the worldwide headquarters of Xcite Baits. Yes, the worldwide. This is where the greatest bait company in the world is, right here in Pilot Point, Texas, just down the road from Frisco and Plano, where Montana State and North Dakota State will be arriving later today. More on that here in a little bit, especially about the Bobcats. We are going to talk with Alex Eschelman, the ABC Fox Montana sports reporter, SWX Montana as well. And we're also going to check in with Keith Brake. He is the host of The Breakdown on Bison 1660 Radio, also the host of the pregame, the postgame show for North Dakota State. He'll fill us in on the Bison and their trip back to Frisco. And he also, he's got a great name with his name. It's called The Breakdown for his show. And I'm Walker. And we have the walk-off, but I need something else to go with Walker. So we'll ask Keith if he'll give us any help there. Jason Walker Show, the opening segment, is brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes, the premier log home company in the industry. 3 distinct divisions so you can create the log home of your dreams and your budget. Milled, handcrafted, and timber frame. Check them out, yourcustomlog.com. Once again, we are, as I said, the worldwide headquarters of Xcite Baits. My uncle Lloyd, his business, and one of our great sponsors to get us down here on the road to Frisco, along with the Montana Football Hall of Fame. The banquet coming up in June down in Billings. And I guess we have to say up in Billings because we're down in Texas now. So up in Billings in June. Tickets go on sale this month at Universal Athletic stores across the state. Big Sky Brokers, Jay Shirley and the gang for helping us out. Thank you. Pinkerton and Company, combat veteran-owned company based out of Wyoming. Casey, though, is from Montana. Handmade products in America with American leather, everything from wallets to custom saddles and everything in between. The products built to last. You can check them out, pinkertonleather.com, also on Facebook, Pinkerton Co. Use the discount code MTSports10 for a 10% discount on all products. Phil at Overland Express, thank you for the help getting us down here, as well as Speaker Sprinklers. Joe and the gang, Speaker Sprinklers, love green grass, and also, as we mentioned, Xcite Baits, the worldwide headquarters. And I'm wearing my Xcite Baits sweatshirt. Got it today, and it works well, I think, with the color scheme because it's blue, and of course, Montana State is blue and gold. Now, okay. So before we get into the road down here, my uncle, love him to death. He's like 7 years older than me. So he's more like a brother, really, than the uncle-nephew thing. Growing up in Montana, lots of great stories involve hunting and fun stuff. There may have been some fishing involved, I think. I don't know. Anyway, he's a bandwagon jumper. Okay, so he's a fan of Alabama. He doesn't even like college football. but he likes Alabama because they win. I think he's a Patriot fan. But he also likes the Grizz. So we are technically in Grizzly territory down here at Xcite Baits. But he also sells to Bobcats, too. Now, he didn't like the Bobcat helmet. I don't care. We put it up in his space. It's staying here. I don't know if I'm even going to take it back to the home man cave. I think it's just going to stay here, and he has to display it, especially when the Bobcats win on Saturday. I think that's a hell of an idea. I think that's what we're going to do. But anyway, I also have a Bobcat hoodie I was going to present to him, but he refuses to come on because he said he's having a bad hair day. I don't know if he's ever had a good hair day, but anyway, we appreciate him being down here. By the way, tomorrow and Friday, we will not be here at Xcite Baits at the Worldwide headquarters. We will be in Plano, just down the road from our hotel at a great sports bar, Tight Ends. So you'll want to stop by down there at Tight Ends Sports Bar tomorrow and Friday for our show, 5 p.m. Central Time, 4 Mountain, and I think 1 in Hawaii is how that works out. Let's see. So the road to Frisco. I don't know if you saw any of the stuff on the Facebook or the Instagram that we posted, but I left Helena yesterday at about 9:15. Picked up my brother in Townsend, a deputy sheriff, and we drove through a pretty decent snowstorm in Bozeman Canyon and over Bozeman Pass. And let's see if we can show some of this. Is it going to show? I don't know where we at. Anyway, it's not going to show, but we were down there. And it was a great trip, my brother and I. And then we stopped in Laurel, picked up my dad. So we got out of Laurel about 1, making pretty decent time. And then my brother's driving my vehicle, which is fine because I kind of trust him. But we're driving down, and we hit snow just north of Sheridan probably. But then we ended up, snow all the way to just before Cheyenne. Now, it was cool. We stopped in Casper, grabbed some dinner, made it to Cheyenne, just like George Strait did, and checked out, we drove by Frontier Days, which is awesome. Still haven't seen it in the daylight, which is okay, but someday I will. And then I drove from Cheyenne to Raton, New Mexico. We got into Raton, New Mexico about 1 in the morning, and then drove the rest of the way in, and we got into Pilot Point, Texas around, I think it was about 10:30 Central Time. So we actually made pretty decent time, and we did pretty good, and had a really nice meal, and just had a good time. So there's that. And the roads were pretty decent. There was some jack wagon tailing us from basically Raton, New Mexico, almost to Amarillo. And we made it into Amarillo by morning, which, that's what you have to do if you're traveling in Texas, right? You got to be in Amarillo by morning. And then, like I said, we got the rest of the way in. So it was a fun trip, and no sleep. My brother slept a couple hours in the back seat. My dad dozed for maybe a half an hour. We didn't let my dad drive. So this whole trip down here, not only to cover the Bobcats, but it was a Christmas present for the next 40 years for my dad. So we're bringing him down because my dad went to the 84 semifinal game and the quarterfinal game at former Reno H. Sales Stadium, but now Bobcat Stadium, which we all know and love. And so, but he didn't go to the championship game. So we're bringing him down. He's here. We're having fun. And I've had no sleep, though. I'm working on like 36 straight hours, and I'm feeling great. And I think that's what happens when the excitement level of realizing you're at a championship FCS. There's 4 teams remaining in college football that are preparing for a game this week. You have Georgia and Alabama playing on Monday night in, what is it, BCS College Football Playoff, whatever it's called now. That's sham. And so they will play on Monday night. And then you got, obviously, North Dakota State and Montana State. Montana State still hasn't arrived. It has nothing to do with COVID, which is good. Just having some plane issues, I hear. And Alex Eschelman will fill us in a little bit later on all of that. But yeah, it's been fun so far down here. And I'm telling you what, Xcite Baits, or the worldwide headquarters, it's really cool. This is where it's made. This is where it's done. So if you catch fish here, especially in the South, but we've caught it in Montana. So I think we're going to get some giveaways as well. So we'll give away some stuff next week when we get back home to Helena. But anyway, good time. Big football game. Big football game coming up, of course, Saturday. And 10 a.m. the kickoff Mountain Time back home. It'll be 11 o'clock here. And there's a lot of people on Facebook upset because the rodeo team isn't leading the Cats out. And there was like a grassroots movement to raise money to get the rodeo team down here. It's the best run out in college football. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But you can't travel down here in the winter and with the horses, especially the Rasmussen horses, Paige and Shelby. You've got Petey and I can't remember the other one that they use mainly for the runouts, but it's the greatest run out. There's been all sorts of stories this week about how Montana State football has the greatest entrance in all of college football, led by the national champ women's rodeo team. And then next year they'll be running out the national champ Montana State Bobcat team. I will give you my prediction for the score on Friday from Tight End Sports Bar. So make sure you stop by or tune in and listen or watch live on YouTube for those that didn't know. It's also on Facebook and Twitter. So there you go. Let's see. Coming up this week, also, by the way, it's all about football. We're going to check in, like I said, with Alex Eschelman today. Keith Brake will join us. Tomorrow, the legendary play-by-play announcer, Dean Alexander, will join us. That will be awesome. He called the 1984 title game for the Montana State Bobcats in their big win. Friday, we're going to check in with Leon Costello, the athletics director at Montana State. Also, Sam Herder will join us from Hero Sports FCS, the fantastic senior writer that does such a great job covering the FCS, especially the Big Sky Conference and the Missouri Valley Conference. So we'll check in with Sam on Friday. But we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and when we do, we're going to talk to Alex Eschelman. She's not here yet. She was waiting for her plane when we checked in earlier today. She's on her flight now. I think she's in Denver. She'll get into to Frisco area tonight, but with a lot of fans. There is a lot of people coming from two different states, North Dakota and the state of Montana. And it's all going to be done on Saturday here in Frisco, or just up the road. Is it up the road or down the road in Frisco? It's somewhere in the area, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Go to XciteBaits.com. You can check them out on Instagram as well, Facebook, but get a hold of them. They're fantastic. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Alex Eschelman will join us. Also on this day in history coming up, the walk-off, and we'll ask Keith Brake about North Dakota State. How do the Bobcats beat the Bison? And we'll settle that question. Is it Bison or Bison? He'll answer it a little bit later on. Next, though, when we return to the worldwide headquarters of Xcite Baits, Alex Eschelman, the fantastic reporter from Bozeman, will join us. Jason Walker Show, opening segment brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes, and we'll come back. Jason Walker Show presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle, and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Fall is officially here, and now is the perfect time to get your rig tuned up before the big hunt. That means a lift kit from Auto Concepts. An Auto Concepts lift kit will help take you places only the animals can go. And when you do get that big one, make sure you have help to get it home with a winch to pull it out. Or maybe you'll be a good friend and help pull someone out of the snowbank. Check out AutoConceptsHelena.com for more ideas. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. You'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. We are presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana state law says it's your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena. All right, still to come, Keith Brake, The Breakdown. He hosts it at Bison 1660 in Fargo, and he'll break down the big game coming up on Saturday. Thanks to our great sponsors, Montana Football Hall of Fame, Big Sky Brokers, Pinkerton & Company, Leather, Overland Express Speakers, Sprinklers, and Xcite Baits. That is where we are, the worldwide headquarters of the greatest bait company in the world. They have some great names, too. Oh, I'm too far away to read some of the great names of their baits. But they work. And people have won a lot of money using Xcite Baits. The owner hasn't won a lot of money, but everybody else does, catching great bass down here. But they can be, we've caught pike on them, we've caught walleye. I know we can get bass up in Montana, so get a hold of Xcite Baits and get some great product for fishing. It's coming up, the fishing season. In fact, I think it's year round, really, right? On this day in history on the way, and also check in the walk-off. We're on a reminder, tomorrow and Friday we'll be at Tight Ends Sports Bar, and looking forward to that. So the manager we spoke to and asked, could we come in? And we told him we're from Montana, and he goes, hey, my uncles used to be professors at Montana State. So he's all welcoming us at Tight Ends Sports Bar in Plano. Make sure you stop by and say hi and support their business as well. Sue, appreciate you tuning in on the Facebook as well. You're not late today. It was a little late yesterday. We had some internet issues yesterday. I mean, that's what happens when you're driving through Wyoming because there's really not much in Wyoming. So some internet issues yesterday. Yesterday's show up online, though, jasonwalkershow.com, or Twitter handle at jwalkersports. Our phone number, 406-209-1267. If you want to weigh in on who you think will win, the Cats and Bison game. All right. We'll get some insight on the Bison a little bit later on with Keith Brake, but right now checking in with none other than the great sports reporter, ABC Fox Montana sports reporter, Alex Eschelman. Is That's What She Said, brought to you by Dinners Done Right. Fantastic grab-and-go deals. Also, edible cookie dough. Yeah, it's fantastic. Grab-and-go meals for families, grab-and-go meals for yourself, microwavable as well.
We always hear from the guys. What about the ladies? Time for That's What She Said, brought to you by Dinners Done Right.
Well, Happy New Year to you, Miss Alex Eschelman, and I hope you had a good holiday season because you got to go home, so how was it?
I did. First of all, Happy New Year to you as well, Jason. Thanks so much for having me. As always, it was very needed. I was able to go home to Sacramento to be with my family, but we're back at it. I'm currently sitting here at the Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport to try to get to Texas.
Okay, so you enjoyed the warmer weather in California.
Of course, absolutely.
Because you left and it got really cold.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, no. This is my perfect re-entrance back into Montana and traveling back, Jason, after the holiday. So I get back and I walk to my car. It's freezing. And, of course, it just decides not to unlock, turn on, anything. Thank goodness I was able to jumpstart my car with a couple of very nice travelers coming in from Tennessee, but it was quite the hello back into Montana for the new year.
Right, welcome. I hope you had a good holiday season though with the family. Because, do you have sisters or were those cousins?
I do. I have a younger sister. Okay. She is a senior at the University of Colorado in Boulder. And then I have a handful of cousins. Maybe you might be referring to one of a Facebook picture of my whole family, and we do have much more female cousins and family members than we do males. We're lacking in the male department right now.
There's not a lot of blondes either.
Yeah. Oh no, no. I know, it's funny. We all kind of look the same. We got brown hair and brown eyes and. Yep. What are you going to do?
I know. Well, okay. So I know you're at the airport. You board in about 20 minutes or so, or half hour, but hopefully anyway.
Well, exactly. We'll see. It's pretty backed up right now, all across the board.
Oh, I know. Hey, okay. So the team hasn't left yet, and they're supposed to be here today, both the Cats and North Dakota State. And we saw the NCAA stuff with, contingency plans. But the Cats are going to be here today, right? There's no issues as far as the health of the players and the all of that stuff.
As far as I know, that is the plan. And it sounds like, I believe that the team has not left yet. They are backed up as well. However, I think everyone's backed up. I mean, I'm supposed to get on a plane here and start boarding in 15 minutes, and that is not looking like that is going to happen. The plane before us and the group before us is not boarded yet. So we'll see. All I have to say is that it's a good thing that it's Wednesday and the game's on Saturday, right, Jason?
There you go. Alex Eschelman joining us, ABC Fox Montana sports reporter. All right, but there is a little bit of an issue with the charter flight for the team, correct?
Sounds like it.
Okay.
So I just had a wonderful conversation. I'm sitting here, and one of the funnest parts of this trip already is this airport is packed with Montana State fans, families, girlfriends, wives, all across the board. And I sat down, and I was pleasantly surprised to be sitting next to Tayo Okada's girlfriend, Anna, and she's just an absolute sweetheart. And we just got into a conversation about, traveling. And I said, are you going to Denver? And then it's Texas too. And she said, yes. And then we started talking about the guys. And she said, yeah, it sounds like there's a part of the plane that's broken. But the good thing is the same thing happened in the Sam Houston game. So I'm taking that as a good luck charm. I said, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. That's a good luck charm. So that's how we're going to think of that.
I like that because superstition in the world of sports, it's not just athletes, it's involved with media members as well. I do the same things every day. You do the same things every day. And it's just, it's not a routine. It's a superstition at times.
Definitely. And you know what, whatever it is that you can find that is positive and glass half full, I say go with it. So that's how we're going to take it. And I'm just happy that at one point we're going to get to a little warmer weather here in Dallas.
Yes, it's supposed to be in the 40s tomorrow, but then 63 around there for game time on Saturday, 11 o'clock Central, 10 Mountain. Okay, what's the thoughts on the team? Give me all the you've been hanging around them for the last couple of days. So what's the atmosphere like?
The atmosphere has been about the same. However, like how it was, ever since the postseason, it's just been a little more intense, as it should, because it's win or go home. And the crazy thing about this is, I guess this is win or go home, but this is the last possible game that you could even play in. You can feel how excited these guys are, and this is just a special group. We've talked about it. And you can feel that within the seniors and what they say about their teammates. The bond within the team is so tight and so strong. They're just excited to go out there and play for each other. But they have also said, Lewis Kidd said this in his press conference earlier this week, and I loved it. He was like, the goal, and Troy has said this, Daniel Hardy said this, all of them have said this. They said the goal is not to make it to the championship. The goal is to win the championship. Right. So we're thankful. We're appreciative. We're happy that we've made it this far. However, we are far from done. This is not an accomplished, successful season yet for us.
And you get that feeling, too. A lot of teams that hadn't been there in 37 years might be feeling like, oh, we're going to be happy to be there. We're just hoping to play a good game. These guys are expecting to win. It's not just, hey, right, we're going to play North Dakota State. We're going to play them and come away with a victory.
Absolutely. And they know that North Dakota State, obviously FCS Dynasty, they know it's going to be a tough task at hand. However, I think the playing styles are fairly similar, and what better coach to have leading the helm of the Bobcats than Brent Deegan, who grew up in North Dakota, is an alma mater of NDSU, or an alumni of NDSU, and got his coaching career there.
Well, and two, he has experience of actually being in this game and coaching in this game. It's not just, hey,
more than one.
Yep. So he, as a player, as an assistant coach, he understands what this game is about. As we talk with Alex Eschelman, that's what she said. Dinner's Done Right is our sponsor. All right, so there's been a lot of love from the community. And what's that been like covering that side of the story?
Oh, overwhelmingly awesome. It's just been, I've never been around such a big group of people who have cared so much about a team, and it's so much more than, just going to win football games. People care about these guys as people and who they are as people, and, how to make them better off the field. And it's just a very family, tight-knit community atmosphere with the Montana State fan base. And you saw it today, early this morning. My awesome coworker, Noah Schmick, was up bright and early doing Wake Up Montana and was at the send-off for the Cats. It was sub-zero temperatures this morning, and there were kiddos out there. There were families out there just showing their support. And you just can't – it doesn't get any better than that.
No, I completely agree. As we talk with Alex Eschelman here from ABC Fox Montana sports reporter. All right, give me some keys to what we're going to be looking for on Saturday.
What we're going to be looking for, we're going to be looking for some hard-nosed football, Jason. It's just going to be, Coach Beacon said it best. He said, may the best man win. And both teams have very similar playing styles. Obviously, North Dakota State, like I said, FCS Dynasty, both sides of the ball are very strong. Won 8 out of the last 9, which is incredible. and they know what they're doing. Montana State sounds like they're going to be close to healthy, which is really, really exciting, especially having, a couple weeks off and giving those injured guys a chance to come back. And, for Montana State, they're just going to need to go out there and do what they do best. I've been talking to some of the key alumni. I know you have too, Jason, of the program, between Alex Singleton, Denarius McGee, just great guys. Ron Murai, all the way back in the 1976 championship. And everyone has just said, go out there, relax, and play your game and just do what you've been doing all season.
And I know teams, Alex, do this a lot, but they bring in past players. But this year, with Sonny Holland and Brent Vegan and Coach Choate did it before as well when he was at Montana State. But bringing the old guys back and the guys that won a championship in 76 or 84 or even 56, getting them, what it means to them as alumni and Bobcat champions to support this team and give the advice to this team about what it's going to take.
Absolutely. And I'm happy you brought up Sonny Holland, Jason, because I know I've mentioned this maybe once or twice, but his granddaughter is my roommate and one of my close friends here in Bozeman. And she's going to be watching the game with her grandpa, with their whole family in the comfort of their home. And, it's just pretty incredible for last year to be canceled because of COVID, and for them to come back and do this, to give it to, they know they're just playing for much more than just themselves. And one of those things and one of those people is Sonny Holland, the most legendary Bobcat of all time. And for him to be able to see another season and to see them take it to the championship is pretty special.
Alex Eschelman joining us. A couple of final ones because I know you're supposed to be getting ready to board soon, so we won't take up a ton of time. But hey, with that, when you talk about the legendary players, the cowboy hat tradition was brought back from the 1956 team, which is just another example of the community support, I think.
How much did you love that story? And you know what? Ryan Davis explained that perfectly, absolutely perfectly. He couldn't have done a better job with that. And you're right. It's so full circle, it feels like this year, Jason. His story of saying, we saw it back in the 1956 team, and we all know that was the first team that brought a championship to Montana State. For that to kind of all come full circle and for the team to recognize that team and try to keep a moment alive and start a tradition is just another special storyline to this entire year.
What are you going to be covering when you get down here into the Frisco area?
Oh, good question. Everything. We're going to be talking to fans. We're going to be talking to former players. We're going to be talking to families and friends, and just getting as many Bobcat fans on TV and showing the people at home what is happening exactly in Frisco, Texas, from the time we get there to the time we leave.
You know what's great, too, is as many fans as are here or are going to be here, Alex, is that the watch parties across the entire country. There's a lot of support behind this Montana State football team, for sure.
It is. I mean, Brett Favre had a little shout-out to the team on Twitter, and it's just absolutely incredible, Jason. It's going to be really, really fun.
Well, hey, get a hold of me when you get down here, and we'll have an H2. We'll have what are those called? The Blue Dolphin. We'll have a Blue Dolphin together.
Sure.
While we watch the coverage.
Throw it in there.
Have a safe flight. I'll probably get you a glass of wine, too. But have a safe flight, and I can't wait to watch the coverage on ABC Fox Montana. The whole SWX crew is coming down here as well. It's a party atmosphere already down here in Texas, I can tell you. We got here. The trailer, the semi with all the gear got here this afternoon, too. So that's here. There's not going to be any issues, and a Bobcat win on Saturday would cap it all off.
Let's hope so, Jason. Oh, thank you so much for having me on your show. And also, I apologize for not giving you any more information as I can. I'm trying to figure out where my gate is here. It's just a little hectic here, but hopefully I did a good job for you today.
Alex, you do a great job for us every week. I appreciate it. Happy New Year. Like I said, we'll hang out when you get down here, and we'll celebrate a Bobcat victory on Saturday.
Thanks, Jason. I'll see you soon.
That is Alex Eschelman joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. She's on her way down. The team is on its way down. There's a lot of fans here. There's a lot of fans coming in tomorrow, a lot of fans coming in Friday for the game, and a lot of excitement. And all of our guests appear via the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline for all of. It's not just a bundle. It's your home. It's your life. It's your auto. Mike understands that, and you need to get a hold of him. Mike Miller State Farm in Helena. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena. We'll take a quick break. Keith Brake, by the way, speaking of breaks, he'll break down North Dakota State next. Hang on.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show on a Wednesday. Oh, the excitement level for Bobcat football Saturday afternoon. This is the latest that the Bobcats have ever played in the season. The last time they played for a national championship in 1984, and they won it, was on December the 15th. Previous times, the Bobcats played in January once, and it was on January the 1st. It was in a bowl game. North Dakota State, on the other hand, has won 16 national championships, going back to the D2 level, and they're no strangers to Frisco, Texas. How will they be prepared? And will there be any alcohol available Friday or Saturday, regardless of who wins the football game? To answer that and a whole lot more questions about, and how do you say it? Is it the Bison or the Bison? Joining us now on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline from Fargo is one of the play-by-play voices of the Bison. His name is Keith Brake. He does all the women's games, and he joins us now here on the Jason Walker Show. All right, man, I appreciate you joining us. First off, Happy New Year. Hope you had a good holiday out there in North Dakota. What was it like out there?
Well, I actually spent the New Year in South Dakota with North Dakota State women's basketball. We were on the road, traveling to face SDSU and USD in women's basketball. So that's kept me busy. You know, I didn't even get to have much of a Christmas. I was home 2 or 3 days before the Christmas holiday and 2 or 3 days after. And that was about it. I was in Arizona. I was in California. I've been all over this beautiful country over the last month and a half or so, and it all kind of culminates this weekend with the trip to Texas and North Dakota State football.
And you are no stranger to this trip, as the Bison have made this trip, 8 times in the last 11 years or 9 in the last 12. I mean, you guys are routine for you know what you're doing when you get down here.
Yeah, no, we've had a restaurant partner for us. We took over in 2016 is when I started doing the games. And actually that first year we didn't go because James Madison came up here and Khalid Abdullah did what he did to a lot of teams with the Dukes back in the day. So we didn't go that first year. But the second year, we got our feet under us, had a plan in place, and we kind of had that same plan ever since, kind of, sort of. Sometimes the hotels change. Sometimes the flight plans change. But what never changes is that it is the most wonderful chaos that you could experience in FCS football is to get this chance to go to Texas and watch the team that you've covered for the last couple of months, you've invested yourself in for the last few months, get the chance to end its season with a national championship. And glad to be back doing it after what feels like entirely too long away. It's been almost 2 years since we've been to Texas. So hopefully the interstates haven't changed too much.
Not 2 years as opposed to 37 for us Bobcat.
Yeah, it's a little bit, right? Hey, you know what? It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. 2 years feels like a long time, especially given the last 2 years that we've been through, Jason. It feels like a really long time. It's like a whole different world now, going back to Texas then than it was, or now than it was then.
I can only imagine as we talk to the host of the Breakdown, Keith Brake. You can is it Bison 1660? Is that the radio station?
Yeah, Bison 1660 in Fargo, and also doing Bison Game Day, which will start at 9 a.m. 8 a.m., 8 to 10 on Saturday on Bison 1660. And then after the game, we go on for another hour and a half, 2 hours, taking calls and emails on Bison Hotline as well. So we have about an 11.5-hour broadcast. I think it's actually full 12 hours now. Broadcast day for Bison football. It's going to start at 5 a.m. We're going to start our local shows, which are going down on location in Texas, and then we'll have pregame coverage that starts at 8 o'clock, and then at 10 o'clock it's the network. So we wanted to do, when we started this 6 years ago now, we wanted to do a Power 5 type broadcast. Nebraska has a 12-hour broadcast day. Georgia has an 18-hour broadcast day. We wanted to do something that looks like that and give this program the kind of respect and reverence that the people who love this program give to North Dakota State. So that's how we did it.
All right, so you have to settle a debate between people that are saying, is it Bison or Bison?
It's funny. My sister went to Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay. And so their mascot is the Bisons, which is not in any shape, form, or fashion correct. And the students had a referendum on it and voted to keep the name Bisons. So that was my framework coming up here. But then I saw a Tom Rinaldi piece from Game Day as I was getting ready for my job interview in Fargo, where everybody made a point to say it Bison. And I said, I will not let this prevent me from getting this job. So I practiced saying Bison in conversation for probably like 3 or 4 days before I flew up here for the in-person interview. And I got that about as well as I could. So the football team is Bison.
Okay.
And the animal team, or the animal, there's no animal team. The animal is a Bison. And that is a distinction that people up here make. I just, to build positive habits, have just started calling the animal a Bison as well. But you can get away with it if you're referring to the animal. You can't get away with it if you're referring to the football team. You'll get nagged about it.
Well, it is funny because we have a high school in Montana, Great Falls High, and there are the Bison. So it's yeah. I mean, it's just the way you get. North Dakotans say stuff weird.
Yeah, I'm from Tennessee, so
you're in North Dakota.
Everybody says. After 6 years, I am and considering the way I go to war with the city of Fargo for my driveway this time of year with snow removal, I'd say I'm definitely a North Dakotan now. It's everybody. My whole life, everybody thought I talked funny, and because I was in the South. I didn't have much of a twang. People thought I was from Michigan. And then I moved up north, and people thought I had a really pronounced Southern accent. So I can't win. I can't win, Jason, no matter where I go.
We are talking with the host of the Breakdown on Bison 1660. His name is Keith Brake. So tell me about this Bison team. See, you got me just all confused now. Tell me about this NDSU team, because this isn't the same type of team where you don't have a Trey Lance, you don't have a Carson Wentz. There's not that one guy that really stands out. This is more of a team, it feels like, than it has been the last couple of years.
Yeah, and the other element of it, I think, is that the standouts are at the other positions, right? A lot of love has been given to Hunter Lipke, the fullback out of Wisconsin, who scored 100-odd touchdowns as a high school player and was, a very successful wrestler, and he did track, and he was a multi-sport athlete. Cam Miller even called him, the quarterback for the Bison, even called him the best athlete on the team because he can do basically anything. You need him to run A-gap power. Okay, he can run A-gap power. You want him to run the wheel route? He scored 2 touchdowns against JMU on that. You want him to line up in the slot against the other team's nickel corner? He can do that, and he can beat that guy. He did it earlier in the year against Towson for a 40-yard catch going across the field in a post route. So Lipke can do a little bit of everything, and he does everything well. Tyler Roll is his position coach as well as the offensive coordinator. He loves working with the guy. Lipke doesn't say a lot, but he absorbs everything. And the other big star on this team, I feel like a lot of people, is a name you're going to get to know when you're talking about the pro process, is Christian Watson. Watson is a name Montana State fans are unfortunately probably very familiar with from 2019, given what he did to the Bobcats in the Fargo Dome, but this guy is an NFL prospect. A lot of folks think he is early day 3. He might sneak into day 2, and I am a believer in his speed, his explosiveness, his route running ability, his ability to take the top off of defense is what really sets him apart, and he's somebody that continues to make explosive plays, and they found all sorts of different ways to utilize him too. So maybe the star of the team isn't necessarily the quarterback right now, like it has been in the past with Trey Lance, with Easton Stick, with Carson Wentz, but that does not mean that this team does not have star power. It has a lot of star power in a lot of other places that can help a young guy like Cam Miller, a redshirt freshman, come into his own as the starting quarterback of this football team.
When you look at these two teams, Keith, the comparisons, they both score a lot of points. They have, I think, the top 2 defenses in the FCS scoring-wise. This is as evenly matched a game, I think, as Bobcat fans can expect over the last couple of years of these matchups, because the Bison did kind of take it to MSU the first couple of playoff games in the last couple of years. But this just feels different because these teams are so similar.
They are a little bit more similar than they were 2 years ago, that's for sure. But I think the question that everyone will have, and it's a question that's going to be difficult to answer definitively until we get on the field on Saturday, is who wins the battle at the line of scrimmage. North Dakota State has a ton of offensive linemen that they wrote. They have, I think, 7 guys that they're comfortable putting on the field, maybe even 8 right now on the offensive line, and they rotate that many on the defensive line as well, keyed by Braden Thomas, but look out for the interior guys, Eli Mostart, Javier Derrick, Costner Ching, those defensive tackles. Blaine Tucker is a guy that just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. We were talking about him as a guy that could maybe rise and be a key element of this defensive line a couple of years ago as a really promising 3 technique, and he's lost in the shuffle of younger guys coming up behind him. Same for Logan McCormick, who's a very good defensive end, who is going to be rotating with guys like LaShaka Ropes and Tony Pierce. You're going to see a lot of different names up front for North Dakota State on both sides of the ball. And I think that's maybe where NDSU has an advantage over a team like Sam Houston, where a lot of people wondered, was Sam Houston tired by the time they got to the quarterfinals because they played so much football? The Bison don't have the same 4 or 5 guys out there for every single snap the way that Sam Houston did. So I think that is a key part of why the Bison are still able to play at a high level, why everybody still feels fresh. Nobody's talked about fatigue. Nobody's talked about extra wear and tear from playing in the spring. And I think if the Bison win at the line of scrimmage, then they will win the game. Conversely, if the Bobcats win at the line of scrimmage, they have a very good chance of winning the game and being the first team in Frisco to beat North Dakota State.
Which says a lot. I mean, it really does. As we talk to the host of The Breakdown, Keith Brake, joining us here, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. A few final questions for you, Keith. But when you look at the Bobcats offensively, and Isaiah Fonse, hopefully he's going to be back. Nobody knows yet. But Tommy Malott. And it's just a different feel
with Malott than it was with Matthew McKay, and it's a different feel than it was when Tucker Rovig was the quarterback a couple of years ago, or even maybe a Casey Bauman. But when you look at Tommy Malott and you talk to the coaches for North Dakota State, what are they saying about how they defend him?
They've said the same thing to me, is that this offense looks very different with Tommy Malott at quarterback, and that's going to be a big challenge for them to try to game plan for because of his ability to improvise. Rovig couldn't really move the way that Malott can, and the way that Malott can create problems for a defense, moving with his legs, making plays with his legs, extending plays with his legs, buying time for his receivers to get open, or he's running the ball himself. Whatever he does, it creates an extra challenge, an extra layer of challenge. And frankly, if Rovig or Bauman is starting this game, or even if McKay is starting this game, I don't know how confident you can be that the result's going to be a whole lot different from 2019. But I think Malott has the ability, because he's so slippery. He's not a big guy. He's 6 foot, 195, thereabouts. But he's so tough to get a handle on him, because he's got that escapability factor that makes him so tough to bring down, that lets him extend plays with his legs. He's got a big arm. Sometimes it doesn't look super clean because he just kind of chucks it, but he gets it where it needs to go, and he's got receivers that can make explosive plays for him down the field. So I think Malott is a really interesting player who is going to create a whole new kind of challenge from what we've seen of Montana State quarterbacks in the past. And, well, there are a lot of teams that have been that way around FCS. Montana State's one when Jeff Choate was the head coach. We said, hey, this team's not bad. They really need a quarterback. They don't need to be playing Troy Anderson at quarterback anymore if they want to try to compete for a national championship. And it sure seems like they've got their guy in Tommy Malott.
It sure does feel like it. You bring up Troy Anderson, and a lot of people feel he might go on early day 2 as well. Excuse me, in the NFL draft. How do they game plan against him? Because he's so dynamic on that defensive side. And, you know, it's his last game. I mean, they may throw him on the offensive side. I have no idea. But this is a guy that is one of the best NFL prospects that played quarterback, that played running back. How do they game plan for a Troy Anderson?
Well, I think his athleticism can create some challenges, but ultimately you just got to trust your personnel. You trust Cordell Volson, or you trust Josh Babbage at tight end, or you trust Hunter Lipke if he's the guy that's got a block for Tamarick Williams. You trust those guys to be able to engage Troy Anderson and win one-on-one, in no small part because they've done it before. Yeah. So I don't know if Anderson is the same sort of headache that Malott is, but I expect him to make an explosive play, a disruptive play here or there, and absolutely agree with you. I think he is probably a 3rd or 4th round pick at linebacker. Heck, the Minnesota Vikings sure could use a Mike linebacker. Anthony Barr's about to be a free agent, and that team is certainly going through a rebuild over the next few years. So maybe that's a guy that ends up in purple out here about 3.5 hours away from us. But I think that's a more of a known entity for NDSU. They've matched up with Anderson before. They've battled with Anderson before, and they've beaten Troy Anderson before. And as good as he is, the other guys on the other sideline, they're on scholarship too. They're really talented too. And I think it's going to be more of a situation where you just trust your guys to make that play, to make that block, to chip him, to keep him off the quarterback. You trust Cam Miller to escape the pocket if he gets flushed by the blitz. And you let your guys be your guys. You let them, as Tyler Rowe likes to say, cut it loose, play fast, and the rest will take care of itself.
Are we making too much of the Brent Vegan connection in North Dakota State? He hasn't been there in a long time, and I know the personnel is completely different from the last time he stood on that opposite sideline for the Bison.
The last time he stood on the offensive sideline for the Bison was I was still in college, so I was at East Tennessee State, who the Bison crossed paths with earlier in the postseason, and ETSU didn't even have a football team yet. So it has been a little while, probably making a little too much of it, but it is neat. I think for people out here to see somebody who's from Trail County, just up the road. He went to school here. He cut his teeth as a coach here. He built his career here, and then he got the opportunity to go on to Wyoming, where he had success, and now at Montana State, where my immediate reaction was, holy smokes, this is a great hire. I mean, like I said, I'm from Tennessee. I love Jeff Fisher to death. Don't mess around with that. Go get the guy that's got the college football experience, and that was the hire. And I love that hire from day one. Brent's been great to talk to. He's certainly very insightful. He's really excited about what they're building in Bozeman, and maybe playing it up a little bit too much. But it's cool to have that history, and I think there would be a poetry to it if Brent Vigen was the guy that toppled his old team in Frisco, was the first one to beat the Bison in Frisco, and he's from right up the road, and nobody knows Bison football better than Brent Vigen does because he's lived it his entire life.
Do you think that helps, knowing that, I mean, he's been to Frisco. He understands what it's like. He understands what it's like to play for a championship, to win a championship. Can that be a factor in this game?
A little bit. I think a little bit. It's not apples to apples when you're comparing the different ways that these teams have to prepare. You know, Montana State doesn't have a dedicated indoor facility yet. I believe there are plans for that in the pipeline. But last week it was single digits for a decent chunk of time in Bozeman. So it's not like you could just get out on the field and run around and practice because you had to find all sorts of convoluted ways to wing it. Whereas in North Dakota State, it's like, okay, it's cold outside. Let's go to the Fargo Dome. Let's go to our domed stadium that we play in, and we'll practice on that field if that's what we have to do. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more challenging, but knowing where your shortcomings are and how to plan around them, it could be really valuable for Montana State. Knowing where you run into challenges, knowing where you run into problems, trying to replicate the success and the formula for success that Vigen had under Craig Bowl and DSU, I think that can be valuable. But you're taking a whole new team. It's a whole new process. It's very different from what it was, or it's a little bit different anyway, from what it was 8-9 years ago, the last time Vigen came to Texas. So there's some carryover, but maybe not as much even as, preparing for a bowl game, I would say, is probably as similar to this as anything Vigen's done in his career.
All right, let me ask you this. You've been down to Frisco. You know the North Dakota State fan base travels extremely well. You know Montana State's going to travel extremely well after 37 years. Will there be enough?
Well, they should, yes.
Will there be enough alcohol in Frisco-Plano area in this general vicinity here for the next weekend?
Well, it's funny you say that. I want to say it was 2000. I want to say it was the first one. It was 2011. Bison go down there against Sam Houston. And a lot of the bars in Frisco were warned, hey, you need to double up on your alcohol supply because there are about 3 things to do in Fargo, North Dakota in December and January, and one of them is enjoy libations. So Fargoans are very good at enjoying libation. They're very skilled at it and doing it responsibly. But all the bars said, oh, yeah, we're fine. We brought in like 10% extra, and people were telling them, no, that's not enough. And Bison fans started coming down, I want to say Thursday, and by Friday night, there was not a can of beer to be had in Frisco, Texas. So, I don't think there is nearly enough alcohol. I don't think there is enough alcohol in the state of Texas for these two fan bases for the massive party that they are going to have, this opportunity for the Bison to go back to Texas to renew that connection once again, and for the Bobcats experiencing the absolute time of their lives with the Cats fans getting to watch a national championship for the first time in almost 4 decades with their team involved and with their team lining up against the Goliath of FCS football in the Bison.
Well, I was 9 the last time the Bobcats won the national championship. You weren't even a born.
I was -6.
I am happy you added to, drink responsibly. We have to do that while we're down here in Texas.
Absolutely. Yes. Lots of water.
Yes.
Hey, get you a spacer. and maybe bring a fishbowl and toss all your keys in it while you're at it.
Hey.
I've heard that works really well. I don't know personally.
That's a great idea. You have the perfect name, host of The Breakdown, because you're breaking everything down. Our old buddy Anthony Knockreiner, who used to be in Montana with the Knock on Sport. You guys have great names. I don't have anything. I have the walk off at the end of my show, but I really don't have Walker. You just can't. It's the Knock on Sports, the breakdown. What can I do?
Ooh, that's tough. Walk and talk.
Ooh, I like that.
Especially if you work in a lot of like Aaron Sorkin stuff, like The West Wing, Moneyball. You work that into your rejoins. Maybe you could, because he's very fond of the walk and talk. So maybe the walk and talk is the way you go.
I like that.
Maybe that's like a good opener for you. This is the walk and talk. These are the headlines. This is what I want to talk about.
I am a lot older than you, and I just feel like I just learned something from a youngster, and I love it. So thank you for that.
Hey, no, like Aaron Sorkin, I'm very excited to promote my masterclass, which is non-existent.
There you go. Hey, safe travels down here, my man. I know you're going to be over at Twin Peaks down in Frisco, correct? Is that where you'll be set up?
Yeah, we'll be set up at Twin Peaks Friday, 11 to 1 and 4 to 6, and then after the game, our post-game show will be live on location. Myself and the guy who made the game-winning interception the last time the Bison were in Frisco against JMU, James Hendricks, will be hosting Bison Hotline from Twin Peaks after the national championship game.
Well, you can catch him on Bison 1660 is the host of The Breakdown, the pregame, the postgame, and everything in between. Keith Break. Hey, man, appreciate you joining us. Safe travels down here. We drove from Montana. It took us about 22 hours. We drove straight through last night, got here today, and we haven't slept. We feel great, and hopefully both teams are healthy and are going to have a lot of fun. We've been hydrating, too. I can say that. So.
I would strongly encourage you to do that. And I'm flying through O'Hare Friday morning, so I am very much in the Via Condillo state of mind when it comes to getting down to Texas.
There you go.
But pleasure to be on with you, Jason. Looking forward to what should be a doozy of a football game between these two teams.
Looking forward to it, too. Give me a final score.
Oh, God. Bison 27-17.
Okay. It's going to be close. I'm going the other way though. I'm picking the Cats, obviously.
That's fair enough, because you're the one that has to answer to the audience in Bozeman. I do not.
That's exactly right. Hey, again, safe travels, and we'll see you this weekend, my man.
My pleasure, Jason. Thanks for giving me some time.
That is Keith Brake joining us. He is the host of The Breakdown, and there you go. North Dakota State, Montana State, Saturday. He brought up Tommy Mellott, and Alex Eschelman brought up Brett Favre. Let's see if we can play this and see what it sounds like.
Hello, Montana State Bobcats. I know who you are. This is Brett Favre, and I'm here to wish you the very best luck there in Frisco, Texas, as you play for the FCS Championship. Look, enjoy every minute of it. Obviously, I'm wishing you the best in winning the game. But you got to soak up these memories. Trust me, because next thing you know, you'll be 20 years down the line. So remember, enjoy every minute, every moment, every second, and do it together. I want to give a shout out to Tommy, freshman QB, James, senior DB from the Pie Pack. The entire team is a great group of young men, from what I understand. And you don't get to the top by being bad. So it's obvious that you guys are in it for each other and love one another and your brothers at arms. Troy, Justice, Willie, McCutcheon, Callahan, hey guys, it's your time. Go get it. God bless.
Wow, Brett Favre. I'm not sure what animal was behind him. You couldn't see it, but it looked like it was one of those African antelope deer things they have over there. That's cool. Brett Favre, the legend Brett Favre. Looked like he was from his home down there in Mississippi. I think Brett Favre's cheering for the Cats. Done, right? Done deal? Yep. All right. Appreciate Keith joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, let's do On This Day in History. It is brought to you by us And today is January the 5th. It is National Bird Day today. It's Screenwriters Day. It is I'm scared to say this in the presence of where we are right now, but it is National Whipped Cream Day today. 1931, the first woman to purchase a baseball team. Lucille Thomas bought the Topeka franchise. 1934, nothing happened. 1957, Jackie Robinson retired rather than being traded to the New York Giants. 1971, the Harlem Globetrotters lost 199 to the New Jersey Reds, ending a 2,495-game winning streak. Don Shula retired on this date in 1996. Bill Cowher retired in this date in 2007. Happy birthday, another great Pittsburgh Steelers coach, Chuck Noll, born on this date in 1932. Pete Maravich, Pistol Pete, passed away on this date in 1988. He was 40. It is also Bradley Cooper's birthday today. Yeah. Like me some Bradley Cooper. And let's see, also born on this date, 1855, King Gillette, businessman, inventor, the inexpensive and disposable safety razor blades, born in Wisconsin. So there you go. All right, real quick, before we get on out of here, let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
I don't think I missed anything. Other than some sleep on the drive down. We had a good time. It took a little over 22 hours from Helena to Pilot Point, Texas, which is where the worldwide home headquarters are for Xcite Baits, our host for the show today, and one of our great sponsors getting us down here along with Speaker Sprinklers, Overland Express, Pinkerton and Company, Leather Products, Big Sky Brokers, and the Montana Football Hall of Fame. We thank you for great support, along with all of our fantastic regular sponsors as well: Montana Custom Log Homes, Rutgers Furniture, Mike Miller State Farm, Auto Concepts, Cafe Zydeco, Dinner's Done Right, Capital Collision Center, and so many more. Man, looking forward to tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow and Friday, we will be at Tight Ends Sports Bar in Plano. You got to stop by. I'm telling you, you have to come to Tight Ends tomorrow. The manager is a Bobcat. His uncles were professors back in the day at Montana State. So if there's a place we're supporting this week, it's Tight Ends. We might be there the next 4 nights. There's a really good chance. We'll be there for sure tomorrow and Friday for the show. Thanks to Keith Brake joining us. Also, Alex Eschelman tomorrow. We'll hear from the coaches in the championship game. We'll also hear from the great Dean Alexander. He will join us tomorrow as well. Thanks to Xcite Baits for hosting us. Been fun. We'll do it again tomorrow. Make sure you go to jasonwalkershow.com if you missed anything. We are brought to you by Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle, it's your choice. Where you have it repaired, choose Capital Collision Center. See you tomorrow, 4 o'clock, from Tight Ends in Plano.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.
Tight Ends tomorrow.